Well, I guess I'm the one running the host today, right?
That's right. You're the
All
host.
right, let's go.
You're the host.
Well, welcome. We're trying the online live thing today, so if that doesn't work, at least it's recording, and then we'll send it out. So we'll get it one way or the other here, but so we've got everybody's here except for Bruce and a few others. So we'll welcome everybody here. Maybe let's should we skip the hot seat for a minute, and we'll
Let's go to member updates. Anything new going on in your businesses or lives?
This year so far has been really, really good. It's just a lot of people asking great questions, and a little bit on the market's been all over the place. And an interesting thing is it's actually been positive this year, but there's been more negative days than positive days, which I found is interesting. So the positive days have been greater than what the negative days have been.
Like, what do you mean positive day? Like stock market?
Yeah, like
Okay.
stock market days. There have been more negative stock market days this year than positive.
So then the positive one's been bigger than the negative?
Exactly.
So,
Yeah, which is just kind of interesting, I thought.
you know.
Yeah, I'm doing like more community outreach. So we're doing like lunch and learns. Like I go to dentist, like the more of a holistic dentist, we're gonna go in and say, hey, this is what we do, but also, hey, what do you guys need? And trying to be a resource. And then we now go on in.
Come on in.
Parties.
Skinny through, you're all right.
I've got I've got like a team, I've got a couple of patients that we kind of do trades, and they kind of work for me as well. And so one lady's, and she's been in the health industry and like a nurse and that, and so she's kind of to other professional offices and set up lunch and learns and things like that. So it'll be cool. We're going over what's new in our business and any
Member
updates and
updates,
that.
yeah.
Member updates.
Cool. I was telling Thor on the way in, so with the Remax, the company is buying all of the leads off of the internet first up, and then they've gone back through and split those up. And it was interesting because the way it all worked, so they actually called me, and I'm gonna get a chunk of those just handed to me, which has been it was really nice, but it didn't come from the boss, it came from a regional that I've gotten to know and stuff. So
All right.
I was like, that's all right, more work, and here we go. But so that's good. And I think I was telling Thor, it came from kind of one of those days where you're just kind of like, you're done, you've had enough. and so on Thursday nights I teach English to the Spanish people. And so I was supposed to go to that and teach that, and I was just not having it. I was not in the mode. I wasn't really wanting to. And
I didn't know you spoke Spanish.
enough to get in trouble. But anyway, got there a little bit early, and the phone call came while I was waiting to start that class. So I was like, all right, message received. So anyway.
Nice.
Any updates?
Any good updates or
Whatever you want to share.
I haven't even had a chance to think this morning. Let's see. Yeah, it's been a crazy. What's 3-4 weeks? I guess I'm hoping for a phone call. As my sister's passed away.
Oh wow.
Property deal that I was working on didn't go through. So I can name off a whole bunch of negative stuff, but I don't want to dwell there because
Maybe
that's
what
not.
did you do well? What was one thing you did well?
Well, again, I don't want to dwell in the.
Yeah.
I got up this morning. I'm appreciative of
Yeah,
the,
there we go.
but yeah, I'd probably have to think a bit before I started. I usually start my mornings with gratitude and start my mornings with ways to. It's based with drive. Well, everybody's read the book. It's called Going Internal, and if you're having a negative day, negative attitude, it's because you're focused on things that are outside you that you can't control. And so by going internal, then that helps you to understand what's going on. I've been doing a pretty good job over the last few weeks of doing that, and then just all sorts of few things just kind of hit all at once. And so I'm working my way through that at the time to be able to kind of get out of. I don't know. There's just a lot going on, and I'm hoping that again I get a phone call that will help me to. But that's external, right? I'm waiting for something external to happen. So.
But I think we all have those days where
Well, when
the
you said you had
wind
one of those
is
days,
getting
yeah.
up out of bed.
It's right. Yeah. So, yeah, if give me a minute to wake up, and I might have something else that I'll be able to share a little bit later on. But yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at the moment. But I don't want to shadow this whole thing after what I've been working
But
on.
on that, me and Doug were talking like in this life, stuff happens, and then it's about carrying on.
Right.
It's like you kind of get hit, and then it's about not how many times you get knocked down, it's how many times you get up, kind of.
Right.
So it's like
Kind of recognizing what you did well, even
Yeah.
though it was hard, and then
Yeah, exactly.
moving on. Yeah.
yeah, like on Monday, my mom had a stroke as well in South Africa, and you feel bad that you're not there and all that stuff.
She's in California, so it's like
Yeah.
so yeah.
So is that why you're going to South Africa?
Yeah, pretty much.
So that being said, how's your granddaughter?
She's actually doing remarkably well.
There you
I don't know if you guys are aware, but she was diagnosed on the 6th of January with brain cancer, and she's 4 years old. They live in Canada. They finally determined that. Well, after they finally were able to get a shunt in and take a sample, they had to take a sample actually from her spinal cord because there wasn't enough stuff on her brain to take a sample. And so they were afraid that she was not going to be able to walk after that. But she's up walking and she's doing well, and she's amazing everybody. And she's had a lot of people who've been praying for her, fasting for her, and that has definitely helped. They're unsure what type of a cancer it is just yet, till they get all the biopsies back from their or the results from the biopsy that they've done. They're hoping it's a type of cancer that's non-aggressive, and they can treat it with medication, pills, or injections. So we should be hearing about that fairly soon. But right now, I mean, she's done remarkably well. And
There's a win.
Yeah.
There's a win.
oh yeah, you bet. You bet.
I think we have a theme this morning.
Yeah.
Persevering through adversity.
Dig through it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's. Alana's not here for the hot seat.
She has volunteered to be on the next one, so
Okay. So
we'll put her down for that.
So then, any updates from the hot seat last time we met that were able to help you with your business or anything?
let's see. So it seemed like there was a couple of things. I didn't get a chance to do any of the AV stuff, so that kind of is still being in work in progress.
Last time you were talking about a big development that might happen in Provo, apartment development.
Right. And that was the one that they just got under contract with somebody else with, that I was mentioning.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah, anyway, it's an interesting, but maybe it's not so interesting. But yeah, so that was one of those. But I mean, I guess if you were to say what was the win from that, I was talking to somebody one day just off the cuff, and within 10 minutes they saw the value of what I have, and were able to make a purchase and kind of go from there. And so now we're kind of working with him to see how we can help him save money on his mortgage and basically save money in taxes, all the kind of stuff that I do. So in a way, just getting into more people, it just was getting in front of somebody. And like I say, it's the fastest progress I've ever made on something. So within 10 minutes, he was card out, ready to roll. So nothing on my part, I'm sure, but
You gotta love those.
the product, yeah. Sold
The
itself.
golden investigator, if you will.
Right. So yeah, other than that, I'm still working on I've to all of your point that was last year with doing the videos. I actually I'm used to being office bound and not doing any videos outside of the office and things, but I ended up picking up some equipment like this that will help me do the outside, more video stuff outside, so that I can bring it back in and put a pirate ship on the Utah Lake.
There you go.
So I figured I've been doing visual effects for I don't know how many years, and 25 years, something like that. And there's got to be some use for it in my field, if not just to make people laugh, have some fun with it, and see if that'll appeal to. Hopefully, I got everybody else wanting to see that video. If you've not seen it yet, you've probably seen it, yeah. But anyway, yeah. So I'm moving in that direction to be able to get into front of more people with different ways and audiovisual type stuff and things like that. So.
But I think even with not getting the apartment complex thing done,
Right.
I think your learning curve is dramatically improved. So when the next one comes through, you can move a lot faster.
Oh, for sure.
And so I think there are little wins in there.
Oh yeah, for
So,
sure. Yeah.
So,
Yep. Well, and I got a new book to read. So, and I don't know if it has to do with anybody else, but the situation that inside the book that the story talks about is just kind of runs my situation, almost parallel. And so it was kind of nice to find somebody who had literally been in the same situation, same opportunities, same, all of that kind of stuff. And to know you're not alone doing a lot of things that you do as entrepreneurs is helpful in and of itself. So I'd say the book was a win for sure. And if nothing else, that's the whole reason I got together with the guy. And so be it. That's my learn. That's my, you earn or you learn. And in this case, it's still not dead because they're just under contract. And my thoughts is, they maybe the contract. Not that I'm hoping it will, but it might be a crazy contract that they promise one thing and end up not being able to fulfill. Then he comes back and we're able to make it work. So it's always a possibility in this industry.
well, I mean, from just the real estate side of things, they're telling us that, I mean, the last 4 or 5 months, it's about 50% of contracts fall through.
Wow.
Just because of the financial side of it not working.
Right, and that's what he's hoping that by going with them, he'll get his opportunity faster so that he can go and do what he needs to do with his. And I mean, all he had to do was sign with me and he had his money, but apparently I didn't communicate that enough. But like I say, if it does, then, I won't hold it against him, except for a couple $100,000. Teasing, maybe. Just in case he's on the other end of the line here.
It's like that old saying, where one door closes, another one opens,
Right.
It's
Can you hand me my book?
Learn, not earn. I like that.
Yeah. All right, so
There's an agenda behind you there too.
Okay.
we want to transition over to the book here. So we're chapters 3 and 4
Okay.
in there. So
Well, I don't know if you guys have read 3 and 4 yet. This is the reason why I thought, hey, we have to spread these books out, because you read chapters 1 and 2, it's kind of like what you were talking about. It's, oh, well, all these big things are doing, and and just to think that I'll never carve a David. That's not me, or all these other things that are going on. And I like 3 and 4 because they put it in a little different perspective then. Okay. So let's start out talking about what's the difference between needing and wanting.
Yeah.
we started that conversation in the car coming over here. So
Yeah. Well, the book says like a need is more negative, lacking, scarcity mentality, needing, and then wanting's more abundance, creating in your life, But we're also talking, you got to be careful what, and I get the wants more the creative, the positive, but you also got to be careful, I think, what your wants are. They could be really, really selfish, but also really, really good, So I was just saying, I think you have to have it in line with your purpose, and if you're a Christian, kind of in line with God's will as well. Otherwise, I think if you just a pure want, like a carnal desire, you could end up in maybe a not a good place, right? Because there's some things that we want, but maybe they're not good for us as well. So you gotta, I think it's a balance, but yeah, I like the difference between the need and the want.
You want that donut, but you definitely don't need it.
Yeah, kind of, yeah, a little bit.
I think, in there too, they were talking about the Nike and the P-Rod, the baseball guy, trying to do a deal with Nike. And to me, I think one of the things that it said right there was he wasn't desperate. And I think a lot of times as we run through business and we get in that desperate mode where we've got, because none of us are really tied to hard paychecks, right? And so we need to be able to, every once in a while we just get desperate because we need to find some money somewhere, turn a rock over or whatever. But to me, he said that, that you've got to, you don't want to be desperate.
Okay. I like the phrase right here at the beginning of chapter 3. It says the world is divided into two types of people: those who are needers and those who are wanters. Needers compete for scarce resources and opportunities, while wanters are involved with continual expansion of cooperation among abundance-minded individuals. Okay. Also, he also goes into, he goes a lot into wanting, what it's about. It's about abundance and creation and just needs no justification. One of the things I like when he says the difference between needing and wanting is that you have to justify needs. You don't have to justify wants. You want what you want. You don't have to tell somebody, why do you want that? Because I want it. That's all you have to say. You don't have to say, well, because, I have to do this, I have to do that, I have to do that. No, you just want it because you want it. Okay. The other thing that I really find interesting is that the difference between money and wealth.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, I'm in a different position than you guys are. You guys are still all, pursuing your careers and trying to create. I'm way on that now. I'm looking at retirement here. I'm actually in retirement, let's just say that, okay? And so what my needs and wants are, or the things that I find are wealthy, that create wealth, are different from what you guys may think, okay? Whereas you're trying to amass, either positions or wealth or money. I'm looking at what do I really value, and that is something that's really important in this. Is that because everybody's values are going to be different, and you have to decide, what do I value? What's important to me, and what's important to you, and what you value is going to determine what you're going to chase as far as worth. Okay, and that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be money. And he goes through some of these.
Just because I'd add to your point there, I'm not as far along there as.
You're gonna have to speak up because I have an ear infection.
Oh, okay.
And I'm completely deaf in this ear.
Do I need to swap chairs on that side? Because I'm on the dead end of the.
Yeah.
He has to turn this way too, just to look at me. But no, that's actually something I fight with all the time. Because money doesn't mean anything to me. I mean, yeah, it'll get me stuff, or it'll get me things, or it'll pay my bills. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. I just have a hard time believing that that's what life is all about.
Yeah.
And so, the hard part for me is, or not the hard part, but well, I guess you could say it's a hard part, is yes, I have to have money in order to survive, in order to have bills paid and a home to live in and all those kind of things. But it doesn't really add to my joy, I guess you could say, because it's more of a tool for something else. The joys come maybe from the results, not of earning the money, but seeing what it can do for others. And so even at this stage in my career or life or whatever, it's not the accumulation of money that really brings me any happiness at all. In fact, it's probably most of the sadness in my life, because it just seems like I'm always fighting for it, always having to go after it, always having to have an amount of it somewhere to be able to survive. And I don't want to just survive in life. And so it seems my 10X is not 10X more money. It's what can I do with my resources, with others, with giving of my time, and sometimes I give away too much of that. But in a way, it's that part of I don't know, it's the happiness in my life that I like, because I can. And then maybe that's my only, at the moment, since I don't have a pile of it, I can't give the money away, but I can give away my time and give away my but my knowledge, my abilities, my service, whatever, that kind of a thing. And I don't know, maybe somebody who's even younger may not be worried about that, but having lived as long as I have, at least, it almost seems like, and that's what makes life difficult in a way, because I'm not chasing, I have to chase the money to live, but the money doesn't make a life. And so anyway, that kind of.
But it all comes around though, because I mean.
You hope.
Well, you do, and I mean, to me, one of the big joys with me is my kids.
Right.
But I've got a kid in Tennessee, I've got a kid and a grandson in Arkansas, I've got one in Phoenix. Well, that takes money to get there.
Right.
And so it's like, even though the joy's there, you still have to do the work to get it.
Right.
It's like the country song. Money doesn't buy happiness, but it buys me a boat and a truck to pull it.
Yeah.
I like that.
Or it's money doesn't buy you happiness, but it sure makes a great down payment, right?
Exactly. I like that.
Yeah, like from the book it says, it's talking about money and wealth. They are not the same thing, but often get confused because money is a typical way of moving wealth.
Right.
That's interesting, moving wealth. Yeah. You can be really wealthy with no money.
Yeah.
Because it's the things you value, I think, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Your family or whatever. Yeah.
So anyway, anyway, he goes into it and talking about value. He says it's qualitative, it's not subjective. So that means that it's something that's important to you, okay? And it talks about the value of your and quality of your time, the value and quality of your money, relationships, and your overall purpose.
That quality is an interesting term. That's something that I feel like has maybe my intention for 2026 is a little bit more of 25 has all this momentum. Now I want to do it with higher quality. I want to keep that momentum, but do it better.
Right.
And so I think intentional quality, that's kind of my 2 words of the year. Being intentionally focusing on quality and being better. Anywho.
He also talks in here about what is your unique ability, and that's something you have to sit down and think about. And what is something that's unique for you? I know there's a couple different things that are unique for me, but I'm not going to share those with you because I don't want to brag or anything. But it's something unique for me, and there's people that I know that they have unique abilities that are, even though they may be in the background, they are supportive and they have a unique ability that helps others to succeed.
Well, and going off of your unique ability idea, I was kind of sitting there like, I don't know, am I really that unique in anything?
Mm-hmm.
But then it's like, people probably wouldn't pick you as an advisor in my case if there wasn't something different, right? So it's kind of sitting down, like you said, and figuring out what is it that makes me unique? Why am I different?
Well, and the uniqueness is that elevator pitch, if you will. You know, you got 30 seconds. Why are you different? Why you instead of somebody else? You know, and I think those things are there. Mm-hmm. And I don't know that those are necessarily bragging, but they're really what set you apart. You know, in the real estate world today, I mean, when you start talking to people and it's like, you go down and to me, I found 3. So, you know, 75% of your real estate people are part-time. And if you're part-time, you can't do it right. You have less than 1% that have any marketing degree, marketing experience, anything like that. And then you have a fraction that have had any kind of hard sales experience. Well, that's me. That's me. And so that's my unique ability that others don't. And that's, and I think to me, the hard part goes back to what you were saying as far as the brag part is there is a difference between bragging and being unique. And I think in our world, we need to be unique. Mm-hmm. And find a boat on Utah Lake.
A pirate ship.
Next statement, it says, someone takes their unique ability seriously and shifts the majority of their time to developing it. 10x and nonlinear jumps follow. You know, that's one of the things that in the first 2 chapters of the book, you think, God, man, I'm going to have to make this great big old goal. I'm going to have to figure out how to get this even though I've never done that before. What am I going to do? But if you look at your unique abilities, and what do I bring that's unique from anybody else, and you focus on that, then you shift all the other stuff away, the other 80% of stuff that's not really helping you any, and focus just on your unique ability. That'll help you with your 10x goal. Let's see here. I have so many. Okay, so one of the things that in chapter 4 he talks about is you know, most of us feel like, oh, I can't do this, you know, because I've never, I can't, you know, do something really amazing. But if you look back in your life, you've done amazing things already. You've done some 10x things without even realizing it. And you need to be able to to tap into that and recognize it and think about, what did I do before that created that? What unique ability do I have that helped me create that jump? And it may be something as simple as asking your future spouse to marry you. You know, that's probably quite a jump for some of us. You know. Okay, I'm going to share something with you that was a 10x for me. So I was on the city council in North Pole, Alaska, and yeah, it really is a town.
Hence the Santa beer, right?
No, I was saying, I actually know where North Pole is.
I've been
Huh?
there.
I actually know where North Pole is.
Yeah. Anyway, I was on the city council for a couple of years, and while I was on the city council, the mayor put me on the head of the economic development committee, and they had several different committees that were kind of going on, and we just kind of drew them all in to one committee and had subcommittees with people over those. Well, one of the ones was the Theme City Committee. Okay, well, North Pole seemed like an obvious theme, right? Well, when you looked around the town and stuff, it was, you had people doing their little thing here and their little thing there. Nothing was really coordinated, and the city tried to put up candy canes on the light poles. So what they were a 6-inch pipe that were bent in the shape of a candy cane and painted red and white, and then metal strapped to the light poles. I mean, okay,
Didn't look that great.
Anyway, that was one of the things I thought, gosh, we got to do something better than this. If it's going to be a theme city, then we have to do something that's going to bring people in. Well, I drew with one of a gal that I knew that who was an artist, and she and I sat down, and she'd come up with some ideas. And we thought, okay, why don't we change out the light posts? And this is...
I'm just laughing because a lot of the people online or something may not even know what this is. It's called a newspaper.
There's the newspaper. Anyway, she come up with some designs, and I'll pass that around so you can see those. Okay, but how are we going to fund this? The city wasn't about to go in and pay for all their light poles to be changed out. Well, it just so happened that the state of Alaska, Department of Transportation, had decided that they needed to widen Main Street. And so they were going to come through Main Street, have to take out all the poles, widen it, and replace all the poles. Okay? So we went and we sat down with the architect and the designers and said, look, this is what we'd like to do. And of course they say, well, yeah, right. This doesn't meet DOT standards. So we had a conversation with them. Then suddenly they came back and said, I'll tell you what, we will design them and put them in place if the city agrees to do the maintenance on the lights in the future. I went back to the city, I talked to them, and they said, yeah, sure. That's what they came up with.
There you go.
Nice.
That's cool. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the whole pole was a candy cane.
No, they probably can't see that. Anyway, so, again, just thinking back that, hey, I couldn't do this on my own. I had to tap into some other people, and that's one of my unique abilities. I can tap into others and get them excited about doing stuff. And I tapped into I tapped into this gal who's an artist. I tapped into the architects and the designers at DOT, and they all agreed. Okay, so yeah, and this is something that this is something that is going to be one of my hallmarks.
For a long time.
Yeah.
When was that?
When was this?
Uh-huh.
This was 1994.
Gotcha. Cool.
So it was a long time ago. See, I still had hair back then. So again, the idea is, you guys have all done some amazing things in the past. Think about those. Go through those and think about it. What did I do? What are the steps I took? And what is amazing, what is the unique ability that I have that I can use for future projects? And that's all I have for the book.
I like it. All right.
There's just one thing, I like the one little line, it's like committing to what you want most is the only way to be free. And then he also talks about getting what you want, and this 10x thing is creating freedom. I like that a lot, because then when you are wealthy, then I think there's also freedom with that, But I like that whole committing to what you want most is the only way to be free. Anyway, that resonated with me.
Well, and I think that, like as Doug said, sorry, I've got to, I talk softly, but I sure carry a big stick. Along with the money part of it, if you're doing what you love to do, your why, I guess is what a lot of people will call it, and it's 10xing it, that money will come. So the opportunity to provide for your family, to do what you need to do, that'll eventually come because you're doing what you love, because you love it, not just because you're hunting for the money. The quote is, love the people, not the money. Use the money, not the people. Love the people, not the money. But eventually, at least I've been told, in a lot of different ways it has happened, that it'll eventually come, and those things, you'll wonder where it has been. That's the other quote, is that you'll wonder, money will be, once money comes, it'll be coming so freely, you're wondering where it was in times of, I think it was a Jim Rohn or somebody else that said that quote. You'll wonder where it's been all this time, or something like that.
Okay. I like it. So then, I guess from there, let's, where Alana's not here for her hot seat, let's go into looking at, I guess, our next meeting. Anybody want to finish out the book and take that as that last review of the book?
Right. Chapters 5 and 6.
I'll do that.
You want to do that?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm committing.
You're committing.
Committing to freedom.
10xing yourself.
Yes, exactly.
All right, and then anybody want to host next time?
I probably can. I think it's been a while, and I didn't volunteer for anything today, so.
Okay, so Garrett will host.
Now you're not going to be here
Oh
on.
crap! Yeah, I can't host next time. I won't be here.
What date is that?
Good reminder.
So do we want to? He's going to be gone. And so do you want to do it a different day, or do it like the first or the third Monday or Tuesday rather?
Yeah.
I'm all right. Are you okay to do the first month or
Let me take a
first
look.
Tuesday?
Because I'm also going to be gone the 10th. Yeah, I'm going to be gone the 11th, 10th.
The first Tuesday's the third.
So you'll be the same. You'll be gone the same time as me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah,
First day will be what, the second?
the 3rd.
The 3rd, yeah.
3rd. 3rd.
3rd?
We could do that.
Can you do that?
So I'm on a fundraising committee for
Okay.
Tabitha's Way.
I'll send out notifications to everybody so they all.
So is that a
know
yes?
that.
You can
That's
do that.
probably not.
Probably not the third.
Yeah, probably not the third.
Not the third?
Yeah, sorry. I'm looking through my calendar. Give me a second. I think could we do like a Wednesday instead?
Sure.
Like if we did the 4th or the 18th.
What date?
The fourth.
Or
Fourth?
the 18th.
All right.
I can do fourth.
Would you do the fourth? I do the
Fourth.
fourth. You do the fourth, Bruce?
Yeah, 4th is okay.
Okay.
Thank
Alright.
you guys for moving things around for me. I'll be the host.
You kind of are the
Host.
host anyway, because we're in your office. So
Yeah. Well, I'll double up on the host.
there you go.
And Garrett, you're gonna host then?
Yep.
Same time, 8 a.m.
7?
7 a.m.
This is 7 a.m. Yeah.
I'm tired, okay?
So I guess with that, then, do we have any other announcements or anything that takeaways from anybody?
What about the action planning? What's that? Okay, that's what we did.
I would say maybe going off of the way we started with Bruce, I tell a lot of people at the market, downturns are normal. Up markets follow down, and up markets are longer than down. But I would say we can apply that to our own life too. Down times are normal. Up times follow down times, and up times are longer than down times in our lives. And so,
Well, and like
Don't
I said,
despair.
it's it's when you have them multiply and successfully,
Yeah.
or not successfully, because you don't want to be successful at that time, but successively, that they kind of hit even the best of us.
yeah.
And so, even, and that's the one thing that, in the past, and just to be brutally honest, I've debated on whether or not coming here, because it's so out of my schedule. Like, my schedule from 6 to 8 is every day I do the same thing. And when I have a meeting that wants to come in and right in the middle of my meeting, or right in the middle of my morning time, it throws off a lot of the rest of the day. But the bonus is that every time I leave, I'm always uplifted. So for whatever reason, it's probably you guys, I'm sure.
It's the
But
dice.
it makes it worth coming because of that alone, if nothing else. So I appreciate that for sure.
Well, yeah, also to be transparent, it's like, I'm like, gotta read the book,
Right.
right? And
That's
then
why
when
we
I
missed
started
that one.
reading it, and then you catch fire again,
Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
Right.
Gets you going again, And I think we've got to keep on doing that, Looking for ways to get us motivated, and hopefully it's internal,
Right.
But sometimes you need a little push from the outside, and then you can take it,
Right.
And so it's we got to pull each other up the mountain,
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
And
So thank
sometimes
you
it's
guys.
only
Yeah.
putting your foot underneath so
Yeah.
that somebody can put their foot on top so that you can
Right.
move up that mountain.
Yeah. There's another book that I read. What's his name? He's like the ultra athlete.
Iron Cowboy?
No, he was like the Marine guy.
Oh,
Goggins.
Goggins.
Yeah.
David
And so
Goggins.
it's like,
We were reading that one.
yeah, we read. So we actually started out a little mastermind. We'd meet like once a week, and go through books and that. And
Let's go.
yeah, and Goggins talked about how he got through these long races. Is just, can you take one more step? It's not even like, can you finish the race? It's like, okay, I can take one more step, And Iron Cowboy also, that guy that did 50 triathlons through 50 states in 50 days. Yeah. Like, he was like, I think this was the warm-up one, not even his 50 state. He was like in Texas something, and his legs were cramping out. He couldn't even walk. He fell over, and his wife got his daughter on the line. He's like, oh no, not my daughter, because she like calls him to like be accountable. Because why he was doing this also to show his kids you can do hard things, And his daughter gets on the line, and she's like, Dad, can you take one more step? Same thing. And I like that principle. Can you take one more step?
Right.
It's the relentless solution focus that Jason Selk talks about. I don't know if you've heard of that book, but it's like anytime you find yourself in that kind of thought loop, it's like, what's one thing I can do to improve my situation. And he tells stories of someone who crashed in the Amazon rainforest and everyone else on the plane died except this guy. And he just kept thinking that. And one of them was find shelter, get out of the rain, stay away from the leopard, whatever.
No snakes.
Exactly.
That's
So,
awesome.
because if we sit there and ruminate on everything that went bad, cortisol comes in, and cortisol makes you slower, dumber, and
Right, fat.
all that. Fatter, exactly.
Awesome. Well, thanks for coming, and I guess moving forward, let's try to invite others to join us. So, and we'll just keep going. Go have a good day.
Okay.
I like them.
All right.
Thanks, Doug. Thanks,
Mastermind on 3.